Hi there, YouTube. As you can see, we've had to put our Christmas tree in a cage. Why? Because the kids and the dog have been bedeviling it. Several ornaments have been unfortunate casualties, so Christmas tree in a cage for your viewing pleasure. Anyway, today's Kingdom Melody is a lesser known one because it wasn't as popular as some of the others. Popular being a very, very relative term. But for some reason, it has survived several iterations of the songbook, and it's still there in the 2017 version, albeit under a different title and with different lyrics. So, kind of the same song. It was number 100 in 1984, and it was called Laud, Jehovah, our God! In 2009, it became song number 9, and it was called Praise Jehovah, our God! In 2017, it became song number 10. This is a shining example of the kind of weirdness that we especially appreciate in this video series. And in this song, it seems that the Jehovah's Witness songwriters decided to experiment a little. In addition to the absolutely unnecessary apostrophes that plague all Jehovah's Witness music, they've tried adding copious exclamation points to this one. It wasn't a good look. Laud our God, Laud our God, Laud our God. It's not quite as catchy as you think it is, guys. So to laud is to praise someone or their achievements highly, especially in a public context. So it's a very archaic and very formal word. I mean, you hear it sometimes these days, but it's not often used as an imperative command in quite this way. I mean, it's really very culty, isn't it? Sing a joyful song for the heav'ns and the wind belong. Can anybody explain to me why we're supposed to be so happy that someone else owns everything? I mean, it's fine with me if my neighbor owns the green space between our houses, but why exactly would that elicit shouts of joy and singing? I mean, what's so great about it? Or is this actually a veiled threat? Laud Jehovah and worship him as hard as you can, or else, because he owns everything, and if he's not happy, he's going to kick your ass to the curb. Well, that's actually closer to the truth if you're a Jehovah's Witness, right, Carson? So this is actually where the melody takes a turn for the worse. It's really awful, guys. The words don't fit well, it's clunky and difficult, and frankly, kind of obnoxious. All things he made, and see how I love all his works reveal. Did none of these people pay attention in English class? I mean, really? The way this is worded, it makes me think there's part of the statement missing. I mean, it would actually make sense if they had said, he made all things both seen and unseen. Because, you know, that's a clear, complete thought. I wonder what unseen things he's actually talking about here. Germs? Diseases? Spirits? Airwaves? Dust particles? What? I also question how his works reveal power and love when by their own admission, God didn't just make pandas and puppies and kittens. Right, Carson? He is also responsible for things like tsetse flies, nematodes, killer bees, Ebola, and countless other gross, horrible, terrifying, or really revolting things. What is wisdom justice? Oh, I guess there is a comma there. But you have to admit, it sounds really freaking weird when you sing it. It also sounds really weird to talk about blending in this context. I mean, it sounds like he's painting. He's like doing Bob Ross or something, or else making cake batter. I mean, I don't get it. Also interesting here is the use of the word zeal. So zeal is defined as great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an objective. Well, What exactly is Jehovah's goal or objective? I mean, the way the witnesses teach it, it's destroying Satan and proving his sovereignty and almightiness, though who he's proving it to is kind of unclear. But if you dig into their theology a little further, you'll see that after Armageddon, that is mass murder on a truly grand scale, Jehovah's going to resurrect some people and then give them 1,000 years to screw up again real good before he kills everyone who isn't completely obsessed with him again. And this won't be the first time or even the second. Remember, he supposedly killed everybody during the flood of Noah's day as well. So to me, it kind of seems like his cause or objective isn't actually vindicating his name or sanctifying himself or whatever it is right now. It's killing people, lots of them, at once. I don't really think this is so great myself, so don't count on me lauding him anytime soon. Now, in 2009, apparently it became okay for Jehovah's Witnesses to have a choir, at least at Bethel. This song was also shortened from 3 verses to 2. So here's verse 1, the 2009 version. And the only thing I like about this is that I don't have to sing it again.
Praise our God, praise Jehovah God, make his glorious name known to all. Sound the alarm, for his day is near, and the land must heed his warning call.
So, to recap, they've taken out the joyful shouting and singing and added some alarm and warning. Typical. In 2017, they changed the last line to at least acknowledge the fact that men are not the only kind of people there are. And this line became, help all people hear his warning call. So it looks like someone at headquarters at least bought part of the clue.
Reach out to all men and tell them the news, tell the blessings that God will bring. Praise our God, praise Jehovah God, make his greatness known in all the earth.
In the 2017 version, they changed our God to Jehovah, and again changed all men to people. Still too little too late if you ask me. Okay, wait. A minute ago he was great. So why has he now been demoted to just good?
Cry aloud, oh how kind is he, let our flesh his loving kindness see.
Why are we crying? This doesn't fit. I mean, it sounds like we're ugly crying here, and that doesn't really go with all this joyfulness in the last verse. I'm kind of confused. And I'm also questioning the kindness at this point, since it's not really evident in the Bible at all, or in the Jehovah's Witness publications either. I mean, all you got to do is look at the pictures, for crying out loud. The biggest example given of God's all-fired fabulous kindness is usually the completely unnecessary sacrifice of Jesus, which was neither effective nor kind, in my opinion. I mean, pretending that any of these people are real for a minute. Throughout the Bible, God's going around smiting and killing people and generally being a jerk. Jehovah's Witnesses follow his example in this, though figuratively, through their damaging policies on the treatment of sexual abuse and rape victims. They're repeatedly turning a blind eye to domestic violence, victim blaming, not to mention the many deaths caused by their silly blood transfusion prohibition. And don't even get me started on disfellowshipping or their character assassination of anybody who leaves their religion. Besides that, the phrase all flesh just sounds creepy as hell.
Though fear inspiring and
Wait, are they actually admitting here that man created God and not the other way around? Because shouldn't God be divine rather than manly? I mean, I think manly would be a demotion for God, don't you? And again, aren't Jehovah's Witnesses pacifists?
to the meek he is gentle, kind. Those who will seek him, he will protect. If in kindness they'll find help.
What are these pitiful people being protected from anyway? And is it really cool for God to just protect anyone who says, hey God, I need protection? I mean, this is basically just worship me and I'll protect you from whatever. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Doesn't sound very ethical. It does explain the protection of pedophiles, though.
Lord our God, Lord Jehovah God, make His goodness known, make it known.
The second verse in 2009 sounded like this.
Praise our God. 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 Sing His love and King with the joyful song. God is there.
Jehovah's Witnesses are monotheists, meaning they believe in just one God. So why do they have to be so specific? It's always our God, not the God or just God. If you want to be pedantic about it, and I do, this seems to sort of acknowledge that there might be other gods out there. And it appears that they really couldn't bear to part with the word Laud in this song after all, so they stuck it back in.
From the heart.
From the heart. Nope, not yours. Not good enough. We need somebody brainwashed enough to feel grateful for being treated like crap.
His glory boldly we proclaim. Oh, great is our God, and great are His works. He is humble and good to all.
Humble? Really? You know, shouting something from the rooftops doesn't really make it true. You know that, right? The entire Christian religion is about stroking God's ego. According to their beliefs, He's willing to kill literally billions of people for not stroking His ego, or just to prove a point, depending on your specific brand of Christianity. So, I don't really think humble's the best word here.
He shows loving kindness, mercy, and love, and revealing to Him we come. Praise our God, praise Jehovah God, make His greatness known in all the earth. Praise our God, 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 praise our God.
Are you sure He will hear? Well, what if He hears, but your grammar is so atrocious that He has no idea what the hell you're talking about? Judging from the Kingdom melodies, it could happen. So nowadays, this would be the end of the song. But in 1984, there was a third verse. And I know you're dying to hear it.
Lord our God, Lord Jehovah God, make His kingdom known, make it known.
It lauds our God, or it gets the hose again. Make it known, I said.
Sound His word, sound Jehovah's word, to the far-flung corners of the earth.
Okay, what the hell are they talking about? What does this mean? Sound His worth? It's word salad. Are they seriously thinking that an almighty God needs His worth explained? If such a thing existed, this idea would be preposterous. Also, the earth doesn't have corners. It's round.
The time is here, and Christ Jesus King, to Jehovah the praise must go.
So let me get this straight. Jehovah isn't the king, but He must get all the praise. He sounds like a brat, actually. I think he might need a timeout. What do you think, Carson? Oh, you want to shake hands? Yeah, give me that paw. I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. Oh, you're such a good dog. You're the bestest dog. You're the bestest dog. Mm-hmm. See, I'm good at praising.
So our triumphant song we sing to God allegiance show.
Oh, yes. The witnesses cannot wait to be triumphant against us filthy worldly people who have the audacity to go on about our lives minding our own business. And of course, by showing allegiance to God, they mean giving their allegiance to a third-rate publishing company in New York.
Lord our God, Lord Jehovah God, His kingdom, no one make it known.
How about no? Does no work for you?
Disaster.